Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into the often overlooked world of birds of prey.
Oh, fascinating creatures.
They are. And we'll be going way beyond just beaks and talons.
Absolutely.
Our source material this time is called The Role of Birds of Prey in Ecosystems. Nature's Top Predators. It's packed with insights, even for those of us who thought we knew a thing or two about raptors.
It's really amazing how much we miss when we only focus on the hunt.
Right. Like, we tend to think of these birds as one big group.
Yeah.
But they're incredibly diverse. Some rule the daytime skies, others the darkest nights.
Exactly. They've adapted to be at the top of their game in such different environments. Consider the diurnal raptors like hawks and eagles.
The ones with the incredible eyesight.
Precisely. They can spot prey from astonishing distances in broad daylight. But then we have the nocturnal raptors, owls being a prime example.
Oh, the owls. Their hearing is something else.
Phenomenal, isn't it? They can pinpoint prey in total darkness just by sound.
Mind-blowing. But one thing that surprised me from the article is that not all birds of prey are solely focused on hunting.
Oh, you're thinking about the vultures.
Yeah. It's like they're nature's cleanup crew.
That they are. And their importance shouldn't be underestimated. Their decline can really disrupt the balance.
It's all connected, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The article gave this really striking example from India, where the vulture population declined, and it led to a surge in feral dogs, and then, get this, a rabies outbreak.
Whoa! It's a stark reminder of those ripple effects.
And speaking of ripple effects, that brings us to population control.
Right. It's not just about what they eat, but their presence itself.
Yeah, so it's about keeping things in check, right?
Exactly. Think of a shark swimming among a school of fish. It doesn't devour every single one.
Right.
But just its presence influences the behavior of the whole school.
So birds of prey, they kind of do the same thing, but on land and in the air.
Precisely. They help to maintain a balance.
The article gave a great example about hawks and owls being natural pest control for farmers.
Oh, that's a classic example.
Without owls keeping rodent populations in check, those rodents could multiply like crazy and wipe out crops.
It happens. And then, of course, there's the fascinating way birds of prey actually make their prey species stronger over time. I know it seems counterintuitive.
It really does. How can having a predator around make you stronger?
Well, it's all about natural selection. Birds of prey often target the weakest link, you see.
The ones that are already sick or injured.
Exactly. And those less adapted to their environment.
So by taking out the weakest, they're ensuring that only the strongest and healthiest survive to reproduce.
Precisely. It's nature's way of maintaining a healthy gene pool, if you will.
Fascinating how that works.
It is. It's like a constant push towards greater resilience.
It makes you appreciate those complexities we often miss.
We really do.
But let's talk about another interesting aspect. The article refers to these birds as canaries of the sky, and I love that analogy.
Oh, it's very fitting.
Because they're so sensitive to environmental changes, right?
Exactly. They act as early warning systems, almost like those canaries miners use to detect dangerous gases.
If their populations decline, it's often a sign that something's amiss in the ecosystem as a whole.
Right, whether it's pollution, habitat loss, you name it. A perfect example is the story of the bald eagle in DDT.
Yeah, the bald eagle, it's a really powerful story, isn't it?
It is. It's hard to believe now that they were once on the brink of extinction.
Their numbers plummeted. It's a real testament to how much damage we humans can inflict when we don't fully understand the consequences.
So what was it about DDT that was so devastating to them?
Well, it all came down to reproduction. You see, DDT interfered with their ability to lay healthy eggs.
So the eggs themselves were affected.
Exactly. The DDT would accumulate in the eagle's bodies, and it led to thinner eggshells.
Thinner eggshells, so they would break more easily.
Precisely. They often broke during incubation, and of course, that drastically reduced the number of chicks that could hatch successfully. Wow, it really shows you how interconnected everything is. We introduce a chemical to control one thing, and it ends up having these unintended ripple effects.
Exactly, and those ripple effects, they often hit the top predators the hardest.
The article does mention a bit of good news, though, what happened after DDT was banned.
Well, that was a turning point for the bald eagle. With DDT out of the picture, their populations started to rebound.
That is good news to hear.
It's a real conservation success story. It proves that we can reverse the damage when we take action.
Absolutely gives me hope.
As it should. Now, shifting gears a little, the article mentions something else about birds of prey that I found fascinating. It talks about their role in seed dispersal.
Seed dispersal. Really? I always associate that with animals that actually eat fruits and plants, not predators.
It's not as direct of a connection, of course, but it's still there. You see, while these birds might not be munching on berries and seeds themselves, they often eat prey that does.
So it's like a chain reaction
Precisely, the seeds pass through the predator's digestive system.
and end up being deposited elsewhere.
Exactly. Through their droppings, those seeds get dispersed to new areas.
Wow, who knew birds of prey were giving gardeners a helping hand?
Nature finds a way. And speaking of unexpected roles, did you read the part about owls and their, well, unique approach to home building?
Oh yeah, it's like they're unintentionally running an apartment service for the rest of the ecosystem.
It's true, they often nest in tree cavities, cliff ledges, abandoned buildings, you name it. And once they've moved on, those spots become prime real estate.
I can just imagine all sorts of creatures moving in after the owl's lease is up. Squirrels, raccoons, maybe even other birds. It's amazing when you think about it. There's so much more than just those impressive hunters we see in documentaries.
They really are a vital part of the web of life.
Right. We've gone from talking about their incredible hunting skills to their roles as, ecosystem engineers almost, influencing prey populations, spreading seeds, providing homes.
It's true, and let's not forget their role as those sensitive barometers of the environment. That canary in the coal mine idea, it really highlights how vulnerable they are to any disruptions.
Absolutely. And we've seen how their struggles, like with the bald eagle and DDT, can be a warning sign for us.
Exactly. They alert us to problems that might not be so obvious otherwise.
It makes you wonder, what can we do, even in our own small ways, to help these amazing creatures? We talked about banning DDT and how that helped the bald eagle recover.
Oh, absolutely, but there's so much more we can do. Supporting organizations that focus on raptor conservation is a fantastic start.
Right, because they're doing the hard work on the ground, so to speak.
They are. Protecting habitats, rehabilitating injured birds, educating the public, it's all crucial.
And for those of us who maybe can't donate or volunteer, even small changes in our own lives can add up, right?
Absolutely. Being mindful of pesticide use, making our windows safer for birds, every little bit helps.
It all comes back to that interconnectedness we were talking about.
Exactly. We're all part of this intricate web. And knowledge is power. The more we learn about birds of prey, the more we appreciate them.
And the more we're likely to speak up for them, to advocate for their protection.
Sharing that knowledge is a powerful step in itself. It sparks curiosity, it changes perspectives.
It's true, just like we're doing now with this deep dive. So next time you see a hawk soaring above or hear an owl hooting in the night, remember?
It's more than just a bird.
Exactly. It's a sign of a healthy planet. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of birds of prey. Until next time, keep exploring and keep those eyes on the skies.